I swear to God, in 2024 there's been more smartphones than rioting dickheads. I mean, it's not even been 6 full months since Vivo chuffed out its V30 blowers, and yet here I am clutching the successor to that Vivo V30, the Vivo V40, which I've had my SIM secreted inside of for these past few days. And because of the short launch timeframes here, it's not exactly shocking that the Vivo V40 isn't a massive evolution compared with the V30, although you'll now find a significantly bigger battery stashed inside, and we've also got some upgraded camera tech. And considering just how much I really liked the old V30, not that much refinement was really necessary. Now, as usual, here in Blighty, the V40 might be a bit tricky to actually track down, so you probably have to import the bugger. Is it actually worth that effort, or should you upgrade to the Pro model or just go for something else entirely? Well, here's my full Vivo V40 review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, first up, the V40 looks remarkably similar to its more expensive Pro sibling, to the point where you'd struggle to tell them apart, certainly from the front. Around back it's a bit easier, because they come in different colour selections. But yeah, this is once again a remarkably slender smartphone, although it is undeniably still a proper hand filler at 6.78 inches. So even with those pleasingly skinny bezels surrounding the display, it's still a proper full-on behemoth. Sometimes a bit of effort required to squeeze it into my shorts. And as you can see there, the screen does subtly slope around the edges there. But fortunately, I found that just like the Pro model, I can grip this phone rather tightly and it doesn't bulk up the screen responsiveness. Still have no issues whatever opening up apps, scrolling about, etc. There was only a couple of times when I was using the Vivo V40 like so to snap a couple of photos that sometimes I had to slightly adjust my grip, otherwise that shutter button just was not responding at all. And like the Pro, the Vivo V40 does feel quite premium apart from the plastic frame, sadly no metal there. But apart from that, it looks rather smart, aesthetically pleasing, and it is available in a handful of colours as well, including this rather lush purple effort. You definitely get a better selection of colours here, including the likes of peach and blue, and some more sedate affairs, the likes of white. If you don't want to pack something too bright and colourful and joyous into your pants. I really do like that matte finish, incredibly good at resisting fingerprints and greasy, grubby marks. You've got a bit of scratch-resistant shot glass up front, and you've also got a pre-installed screen protector slapped on there just in case. No mention of IP water and dust resistance, however, so don't go getting it too soggy. Now, have you used a Vivo phone before? Because if you have, you'll know what to expect from the software side of things. The amusingly titled FunTouch OS slapped on top of Android. Thankfully, doesn't bugger about with that Google formula too much, so you've still got your Discover feed. Apps tray is present and correct. Of course, you can drag down that notifications bar. As you can see, FunTouch has its own general vibe, so it looks different from the likes of the Pixel phones, but you still get a whole bunch of toggles slapped in there. And Vivo has also hoid in a few bonus bits, including plenty of customization options, right down to the face recognition animation and the graphic you get when you plug in a USB cable. Very spangly. And as with the Pro model, Vivo is guaranteeing 3 OS upgrades, so Android 15 hopefully later this year, and then Android 16 and 17 beyond that, and 4 years of security patching, which ain't bad. Not as good as a Samsung or a Google or whatever, but pretty respectable. And yeah, FunTouch can be a slightly heavy OS, to say the least. You'll see the odd judder here and there. Occasionally an app will take a couple of seconds to load up for whatever reason, but otherwise it's been fairly well behaved. I haven't seen much balkiness here. And actually, for some random reason, you don't get a huge heap of crapware stuffed on here, unlike the Pro models. There's no Facebook, LinkedIn, Agoda, Booking.com. Maybe they just forgot to stick it on my review model, who knows? The storage starts at 128 gigs, but you can upgrade all the way up to 512 gigs, half a terabyte, which is what I've got here. Sadly, not expandable via micro SD memory cards. Now, the display here on the Vivo V40 is identical to what you get on the Pro model, i.e. a 6.78-inch massive bastard, an AMOLED panel, of course, as you would expect. 2800 by 1260 pixel resolution, so it's spacious but still pretty crispy. You don't have any Dolby Vision streaming support, but you do have full support for HDR10+ and the likes of Netflix. The contrast is gorgeous. The colours are fairly muted actually on the standard default setting, but you can boost them up in the display settings if you want things a bit more punchy and poppy and easy on the eye. Now, refresh rate peaks at 120Hz, although this is an LTPO tech, it can't dip as low as 1Hz. Although, as we'll see in the battery section, that doesn't really matter. I found the visibility was respectable even on really sunny days. I could still read messages, check out websites, etc. while wearing shades when it was proper bright out. And while the old Vivo V30 only had a mono speaker setup, well, the V40 has thankfully been upgraded to full stereo action. Not the loudest speaker setup I've ever heard, but pretty respectable. So I've been fingering Samsung's Ring for over 2 weeks now, and most enjoyable it's been. But is it actually worth 400 quid? And don't get me wrong, it's not like super quiet or anything, but it's not the most powerful around considering this is an almost 7-inch smartphone, but the audio quality stays pretty good even when you peek it out. But no headphone jacks, you are stuck with a bit of Bluetooth streaming. I found this is generally fine. The Bluetooth streaming did break up a wee bit when I was walking about and listening to stuff at the same time, but usually behaves itself nicely. Now, as you'll know if you saw my Vivo V40 Pro review, not really much difference between the pair thus far. You'd be forgiven for thinking that maybe your Uncle Spurt just got hammered and is accidentally re-reviewing the same phone. However, when it comes to the performance, Vivo has stuffed a very different chipset inside of the V40. It's once again using the old Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 that powered the Vivo V30 6 months ago. And my model came with 12 gigs of RAM stuffed inside. This is absolutely fine for your everyday shenanigans, as I say. So a couple of wee judders and occasionally an app will take a second or two to load up on this bad boy, but I think that's more down to FunTouch OS than the actual chipset in here. And the likes of Zenless Zone Zero and other really intensive games also run really well, getting not quite as silky smooth as what I saw on the Pro with its upgraded MediaTek Dimensity 9200 Plus chipset. But even on the higher graphics settings, only saw the occasional stumble in that frame rate. Things were generally fluid. And thankfully, the Vivo V40 remains cool under pressure, even after an hour of gaming, still going strong, and only moderately toasty. I did notice it got really hot when I was using it in the outdoor afternoon sun, which we've had a surprising amount of lately, but thankfully again didn't threaten to shut down apps or actually power down entirely itself. It just handled it fine. So performance hasn't been upgraded over the old V30, but what has been boosted is the battery life. You've now got a 5,500 milliamp hour capacity cell stuffed in here, and that combined with that energy efficient Snapdragon chipset means insane longevity. This thing will easily last you a full weekend on a single charge. I basically just had to charge it up every other night, so pretty much ticked down exactly 45-50% in a single day. And that is with, a good bit of camera use, plenty of web browsing, message checking, audio streaming, even when the phone was hibernating. I didn't slack off on this thing at all. And you've once again got that 80-watt wired charging as well, so even if you are running low on juice, it doesn't take long to power back up, although no wireless charging support. And let's finish up this Vivo V40 review with a squint at the camera tech. You've actually got one less lens here versus the Pro, so it's just a pair of 50 meg shooters now. And the primary shooter here on the V40 uses a different camera sensor to the Pro model. You've actually got Samsung's fresh new 50 meg ISOCELL GNJ stuffed in there, again with optical image stabilization. And while the older V30 wasn't quite deemed sexy enough to be worthy of the Zeiss branding, thankfully you do have it here on the V40. So this means you do get the Zeiss natural mode as well as the default vivid mode and the textured mode as well. Really changes up the vibe of your shot. When you're shooting outdoors, the vivid mode really highlights those lush blue skies, boosting the color to make them look almost surrealistically beautiful. But if you want something a bit closer to what you'll see with the naked eye, we'll definitely slap it on that Zeiss natural mode. I've got to say, detail levels overall weren't quite as good with the Vivo V40 versus the V40 Pro, but it is still a flexible shooter, holds up well across a range of conditions, and really doesn't fill its pants when it comes to really nasty contrast, thanks to the HDR smarts. You've once again got an aura light flash slapped on that arse end as well, absolutely eye-piercingly bright. And you can make this warmer or cooler to suit your environmental conditions. Otherwise, there's also an auto mode so it can adjust to suit the lighting without any input from yourself. You also once again have a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter here on the Vivo V40, which can spaff out some pretty gorgeous looking dramatic shots, and it's got autofocus if you want to use it for any macro type shenanigans. Unfortunately, the regular Vivo V40 misses out on that dedicated telephoto portrait sensor, but this phone can still capture a decent looking portrait shot. You just need to get a bit closer to your subject unless you want to crop in and end up with some artificially sharpened photos. And for your video shenanigans, you can once again shoot up to 4K resolution Ultra HD video, but sadly this is stuck at 30 frames per second. There's no 60 FPS option at Ultra HD, you've got to bump it down to Full HD for that. And the stabilization is okay, can be a wee bit juddery if you are walking about and shooting simultaneously. You do also get some strong wind feedback at times on the audio front. These wee grumbles aside, the Vivo V40 spaffed out some pretty decent home movies. And then around front you've got yourself a 50 meg selfie shooter, which can fit quite a lot into that frame. Really handy for those group shots. And again, this pumped out some respectable looking pics, although if you are shooting indoors in more ambient light after a skinful, well, that usually doesn't work out too well. And with that selfie cam, you can shoot up to 4K resolution footage, once again 30 frames per second or 60 FPS. And stabilization's okay. If you're moving your hands about, you'll see the visuals are a little bit shaky, shall we say. But it's okay for a quick bit of vlogging or simple bit of video chat action. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a tasty wee nutshell is what I reckon of the Vivo V40 after using it as my full-time phone for a good few days. I gotta say I really enjoyed it just as much as I did the old V30, with the fact that the battery life is even better now. Performance is still pretty solid. You got some nice slick design, you know, it would have been nice to have a metal frame, a few little complaints here and there, but overall it's rather dashing. And yes, FunTouch can be a little bit clunky here and there, but at least this thing isn't absolutely laden with crapware, unlike the Pro model randomly. That's what I think anyway. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on the Vivo V40 down in the comments below. Please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a really wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you.